Going to start with companies. Company. As we know, there are different types of businesses. Sole proprietorship is there, partnership is there, and still, if the sole proprietor or partnership, if they are in need of more finance, more money, the next option in front of them is to convert it into a company. Okay, so there are many limitations of sole proprietorship and partnership form of organization, like lack of resources and unlimited liability. Unlimited liability is also a problem. The joint stock company form of organization does away with these limitations. So when you read the sentences, read it carefully, understand the meaning and read it. Because as you know, that is how the questions are asked. Assertion, reason, statement 1 is wrong, statement 2 is right. Likewise. So it is to remove the drawbacks of sole proprietorship and partnership. We have another form, that is joint stock company. And to become a company, what should be done? It should be registered under Companies Act 2013. Earlier it was Companies Act 1956. Now it is Companies Act 2013. Now, what is a company? It is an association of persons joined together to achieve a common objective. It is actually an association of persons, people coming together. We'll discuss more. Okay, so that is the intro about company. That is how the company comes into the picture, to remove the drawbacks of all other kinds of businesses. Characteristics of a company. Talking about characteristics of a company, the first one is separate legal entity. A company is a different person. The members or owners are completely different person. A company has an independent existence different from its members. It has a legal personality. It can buy assets on its name. It can enter into contracts. So many. So that is the first characteristic, separate legal entity. It is an artificial person. It is an artificial person created by law. So that is separate legal entity. Which is that form which doesn't have no separate legal entity? Yes,
Partnership.
partnership. No separate legal existence, right? I had made you underline that sentence. Okay, perpetual existence. Again, a company is created by law and only law can liquidate it. We have seen regarding the sole proprietor and also partnership. If one of the sole proprietor, there is only one person. If he dies, finish, the business comes to an end. And again, one of the partner dies or retires or they decide to change the agreement, then that particular partnership comes to an end. Then it is the new company, not company, the firm. It is a new firm coming into picture. So there is no perpetual existence for sole proprietorship and partnership. But for company, it has got perpetual existence. These retirement, insolvency, death, all that is not going to affect the company. Some of the members will retire, some new members will come, join the company, still the company will be the same. That is perpetual existence. Next one is limited liability. That is the next highlight, limited liability. The liability of the members is limited. Even though when we come to the classification of company, we will find unlimited company, but still it is only in the name. You cannot find such companies. There is no such companies called unlimited companies, even though we have a classification like that. Okay, so the liability of the members will always be limited liability. Common seal. What is a common seal? It is actually the signature. It is considered as the signature of the company, official signature of the company. Then transferability of shares. The shares of the company are freely transferable from one holder to another. But this is not possible in the case of private company. I mean, the shareholder can sell his shares freely, but that is not possible in private company. Separation of management and ownership. The shareholders are the real owners of the company. So who are the owners? The shareholders are the owners of the company. And it is not possible for every member to take part in day-to-day administration and control of the business. There are several shareholders. So many shareholders will be there. They cannot interfere in the management, day-to-day administration of the company. For that purpose, there is a separate group, that is the board of directors, for controlling and managing the company. Hope you understood. The owners, there are so many owners. The shareholders are all the owners of the company. But the management or all these people cannot interfere, or they won't get time to go through these management and administration affairs of the company. So for that purpose, from the shareholders, they have elected a board of directors. But all the shareholders have the right to inspect the books of accounts. That is why we could find the balance sheet in the site for your project. The balance sheet are published. Okay. All the members have the right to inspect books of accounts of the company. They can seek information from directors in meetings of the company. So there is nothing secret about the company. It is all published. Why? Because there are several shareholders. And all the shareholders have the equal right to know the information of the company. So these are the characteristics of the company. Coming to types of joint stock company. Types. The companies, also called the joint stock companies, we have several classification on the basis of incorporation. On the basis of incorporation, it is statutory companies and registered companies. Statutory companies and registered companies. Statutory companies means they are established by the special act. Special act, either the state legislature or the parliament. Statutory company. Please go through these. This is important. Companies, like we saw the types of partnership and types of partners. This is also very important. Okay. And they do not have any memorandum of association and articles of association. Already when I started the chapter earlier, I mentioned this. Two important documents of a company. They are memorandum of association and articles of association. And the statutory companies doesn't have that. Their objectives, powers, and activities are decided by special laws by which they are created. For example, the RBI, Life Insurance Corporation, Food Corporation of India, they are all the statutory company, comes under the category of statutory company. And next, on the basis of registration, that is the incorporation, we have registered companies. And all the companies are registered with Registrar of Companies Act 2013 or any other previous act. That means earlier, as I said, it was Companies Act 1956. Then later on, updations were made to this act. Now it is Companies Act 2013. So even if it is a company registered under 1956, it is also a company. That's what it means. Any other previous Companies Act. Okay. So that's it. And also there is another classification, listed companies and unlisted companies. Listed companies are those companies, the public companies whose securities are listed in the recognized stock exchanges. That means their shares are traded, their securities are traded in the stock exchange. And it is for these purposes we have the demat account, dematerialization, etc., etc. Then unlisted companies. Unlisted companies whose securities are not listed in any recognized stock exchanges. That means they are not traded in the stock exchange. Okay, so that's it. On the basis of incorporation, statutory company, registered company, and also a public company can be either listed company or unlisted companies. Now, on the basis of ownership, we have 4 public company, private company, 1-person company, government companies. Public company, private company, 1-person company, government companies. A public company, what is a public company? According to Companies Act 2013, public company is one which is not a private company. And it has a minimum paid up capital of rupees 5 lakh rupees or such higher paid up capital. It should have at least 5 lakh rupees. Minimum paid up capital of 5 lakh rupees or higher amount. And it can also be a private company, which is a subsidiary of a company, which is not a private company. So these sentences should be noted carefully. Even a private company can also become a public company, can also be called as a public company if it is a subsidiary of a company, which is not a private company. That means a private company, which is a subsidiary of public company, will be considered as a public company. And there should be minimum 7 members. Minimum 7 members should be there and not more than that and not less. Coming to private company. Here, the private company, it should have a minimum paid up capital of rupees 1 lakh rupee. Minimum 1 lakh. And they do not have the right to transfer its shares. There should be minimum 2 members and maximum number of members is 200. And they do not give the public the option to buy their security. They does not permit any offer to the public to subscribe for any securities of the company. Then we have one-person company. There is only one person as member. One-person company. And it is according to section 2 that it is there in your textbook. Section 2, subsection 62 of Companies Act 2013. One-person company. Government companies. Government companies, it is a company in which the central government or any state government or both hold not less than 51% of the paid up capital. So this is on the basis of ownership. Nationality basis, it is easy. Indian companies and foreign companies. If it is a company registered under Companies Act 1956, Indian Companies Act, then it becomes an Indian company. Any company which is registered outside India and it is having business in India, it becomes foreign company. Then on the basis of control, holding company and subsidiary company. Holding company, subsidiary company. If a company holds more than 50% of equity share capital of some other company, one company is having 50% of equity shares of another company, then it is called the holding company. And the other one, the company of which this 50% shares are held by, that is called the subsidiary company. And on the basis of liability, we have companies limited by shares and company limited by guarantee, also unlimited companies. Okay. And next one is not there in the textbook. Is it there? The stages of formation of a company. I had given you in the notes, if I'm not wrong. But anyway, I'll be sending this in the group. Okay. This is also important. The stages of formation of a company. Promotion. It's there, I guess, in your textbook. Incorporation, capital subscription, and commencement of business. These are the stages of formation of a company. Promotion, incorporation. You should definitely know these stages: the promotion, incorporation, capital subscription, and commencement of business. So what is promotion? All that activities for bringing a company into existence. The actions and the activities by which a business enterprise is brought into existence. All that we do before. They include identification of opportunities, analysis of its future prospects, initiation of steps to form a company, all that procedures done before bringing the company into existence. That is called promotion. Don't relate it to the advertisement process. The promotion is not advertisement here.